Welcome everyone. Today we'll talk about brand management in this video. So yes, what is strategic brand management? Basically, we need to understand that we are in the process of creating a personality for a brand, for a product with a name. And if we create a personality, it is all about branding. So we need to identify first thing and foremost thing, identify the product, probably the brand, give it a name, and then plan the personality around here. This is where we need to understand, because once you have planned it, you start marketing the communication that is to be perceived or probably is given or disseminated among the general public. Once this has been done, you need to understand the impact that has been created in the minds of the general public. So we are trying to measure the impact or probably interpret the impact of the brand. And thereby, if this personality, if it is clicking, you need to add on features to it. And that is how it grows around it. So, yes, we first identify the product, give it a name, plan for the marketing communication, measure the impact, interpret the results, and thereby go for extensive growth thereby. So brand is name, is a term, is a sign, is a symbol, or probably a design, or even a combination of either of them, intended to identify the goods or services of one seller or a group of seller and to differentiate them from those of that of competitors. This is what brand is all about it. Remember, it's basically a name or a term or a sign or a symbol or a music or a design or any combination of these factors intended just for the fact to identify the goods or service which has been catered by a particular seller or group of seller. So, role of a brand, let us understand the role of a brand from the consumer's perspective. What does it benefits? It identifies the source or the makers around it. It simplifies the decision making capacities for the consumer, and definitely a brand name signifies a certain amount of qualities with respect to the pricing part. So it is reducing risk as far as your decision of making a purchase is concerned. So yes, consumer benefits is to identify source or maker, simplify decision making, and reducing risk. Now, what is the role of a brand for the marketeer's perspective? Now, please understand, this will simplify the product handling. Why? What is been meant by product handling is there might be sub product or product line for a product altogether, and if you have a brand assigned to it, the product line gets automatically enhanced. You do not market each and individual product every now and then. So it protects unique features, creates a loyalty, and establish barriers to entry, and that is what the role of a brand would always be going across it. So yes, it benefit for marketers would be simplifying product handling, protect unique features, create loyalty, establish barriers to entry thereby. So, what are the scope of branding? You look into it. I have given a name, I have given a pic, I have not removed any names for that as a brand. And we have this consumer, this wonderful consumer who's thinking of making a purchase of a product but are not clear about which product, which name of the product that it wants to go for it. That is what brand equity is all about it. That added value endowed upon products or services because of the name, because of the brand, because the value, the attraction that it creates, or because of the quality it encompasses altogether. And that is what brand equity is all about. It is the added value endowed. So, consumer based brand equity. Now, what are we looking into it? First and foremost thing, what is the consumer brand knowledge is all about it? First and foremost thing, the consumer, what does the consumer knows about this particular product first? And based upon that brand knowledge, the consumer is going to give a difference in consumer responses, whether the consumer is going to purchase this one or some other product. Why? Probably values in terms of your money, in terms of money, or let's say other products which might be available in different quantities. So that needs to be taken around it. A consumer brand knowledge based on perception, preferences, and behavior, based on the money is involved, based on the quantity involved, based on the ease of access involved. That is what the consumer response would be all about it. The customer based brand equity based on perception, preferences, and behavior thereby. So, yes, what? the brand name must do for the consumer? This is one of the questions that keeps on coming around time and again, every now and then. What should we do? How do we go ahead with it? Brand equity model, brand asset valuator, BAV, as we keep on saying around it. Brand equity model stands for brands or brand resonance model. As these are the various measurements that is much more prevalent in the market for a marketeers, as in what is the brand asset value. At times, you are selling your brand also, you're not selling a product. Probably the product might be there, but it doesn't have much of a value. It might have few $1 million, but the brand might be few hundred or few $1,000 million. Brand value is much higher than that thing. So that is what is BAV, brand asset valuators, brands resonance model. Now let us understand the brand asset valuator model. Now this is what the brand strength is all about. It is all about differentiation, the brand points of difference, as in what it relates to the margin and the cultural currency. If it is embedded in that particular culture, in that particular generations of demography that goes around it, probably the brand has been in existence for last 100 odd years. So people who must have utilized three generations of people have already utilized that product in their family. So it has a brand point of differences. Then comes a relevance, how appropriate the brand is all about it. Does it make sense to you? Does it attracts an affinity for you? So yes, energize, differentiation, and relevance counts the most as far as brand strength is concerned. Then comes the brand stature. It's all about being esteemed. How you regard the brand relates to the perception of quality and loyalty. Knowledge and intimate understanding of the brand. Understanding relates to awareness, relates to the consumer uh, experiences. This is what brand asset evaluators would all about it. Let me give you a classic example. If you want to plot it down, you see we have Denny's, we have Bosch and Lomb at one quarter. So there is something called eroding or declining. Let's say for Bosch and Lomb might be eroding, Bank of America might be declining. Similarly, for a newly focused thing, might be NBA or Kia, Lacoste, Kayak.com. These are new, approximately new brands which has been launched in last 20 odd years. There are niche brands, for example, Wikipedia, Crocs, AMD, niche brand particular to a segment of the population that you are already targeting. And then there's a leadership brand. For example, we have a Netflix, Adidas, Amazon. These are leadership. These are name to reckon with. People, everybody knows about the name. Now, what have I done it onto it? How did I come to this particular graph? This is where the esteemed and knowledge, as far as the stature is concerned, has been plotted on the x-axis. Here on the x-axis has been plotted where the strength about the energized differentiation and relevance has been plotted on the y-axis. And if you look into it, when the stature and the strength is low, probably the brands are new. But when the stature is low and the stature is high but the strength is low, that means this is on a declining model, as a Bank of America or Bosch and Lomb is considered. Similarly, when the stature is very low but the strength is very high, something which comes around it, you have Crocs, we have AMD, Wikipedia, Grameen Bank. Somewhere down the corner, it has much immense potential. And what happens when we have both statures and strength at an equal momentum and spirit, absolutely on the highest of spirit? That is known as the leadership arena, where everybody counts around it. Let's say Netflix, let's say Adidas, let's say Nike, Nikon, and so on and so forth. So, brand dynamic pyramid, if you look into it, we start from the strength as well the availability of the things is. Do you know about it? The presence, the availability. Now, does it makes or sounds good to you as in relevance? Does it offer something to you? Does it interest you? Does it attract you? So you have to make first the availability of the product, then probably create an urgency for the needs of the product. Then probably once it has been purchased, once it has been utilized, can we go for the performance levels? Can it deliver? This is one question that needs to be asked time and again. And once things have been purchased, consumed, availed of, does it offers any advantages? Is it cost benefit? Is it uh, ease of product? Is it anything that comes which is unique? Is it with an extended warranty or something like that? And then comes the bonding part of it, the relationship building, which can nobody can break around it. So if you look at from the availability to bonding is all about an engagement, and a weak engagement, weak relationship, low share of category expenditure, to a strong relationship, high share of category expenditure. That is what we need to go around it. And this is what I have said about brand dynamics, nothing but brand dynamics. Similarly, for brand resonance pyramid, if you look into it, this is where we are coming around here. Now comes on the branding of each objective, each stage, and the stage of development. Right from the bottom, if you look into branding objective on each stage, when we say of the availability or salience model, it's a deep, broad brand awareness. As in, does it identify use? Probably yes. Then does it relate to you in the meaning? The second stage is all about performance, imaginary, all the points of parity with respect to another product, with respect to another brand. Similarly, on the third stage is what about you? What was it that thrilled you or detested you? Did you like it? Do you have a sense of feeling or judgment? Are you passionate about it because you have utilized it, because it benefited you, or you are just giving judgmental values around it? Is it positive? Is it accessible? Reactions. And the last one is resonance. It's the relationship that has been built about you, with you, and you. That is what needs to be taken care of. This is all about intensity, activity, branding, and brand building blocks as on when on basis. So let us come to the building brand equity. How do we go around it? There are three elements that comes around it. Marketing activities or marketing communication plays a pivotal role. Similarly, for brand elements, as far as what are the quality of product, the services that you're offering, and the secondary association is probably how do you perceive as a niche brand, or does it pursue a mass appeal? These are your secondary association, which will bring up a particular character or particular personality of a brand, and that is what the equity is all about it. So three pillars are brand elements, secondary association, and marketing activities for a brand equity. Now let me tell you about the brand elements. What is it all about it? Brand elements are brand names, the URLs, the uniform resource locators, the logos, the symbols, the characters, the spokespersons, the slogans, the jingles, the packages, the signage. Did I say music at any point of my previous slide? This is what the jingles is all about it. So brand element choice criteria, it can be the builders, memorable, meaningful, likable. It is all about getting identified, memorized, or recall value. Then comes the defensive or transferable and adaptable, protectable, as the case might be. What are we looking into it? Developing brand elements. What was the name of that cookie I like? Easy to recall, descriptive, and persuasive. What exactly the brand elements that goes around it? Is it has a good recall value? Does it catches your idea, catches the fascination? Is it persuasive? Does it hangs around you? So what kind of name that of that cookie that I like? Often probably these are things that you keep on guessing when you are in your superstore and probably looking for certain things. Holistic marketing activities are word of mouth. Nothing can beat a word of mouth, observations, and probably interactions with company. These are the other marketing activities that comes around here. Now, talking about secondary association, look out what the secondary association is looking at it. We are talking about geographic regions. We are talking about other brand which has been associated. We are talking about the characters, about where you are slotting it down. Is it the niche brand that you are looking into it? Is it the mass appeal that you're looking into it? What about the spokespeople or spokesperson? What are they talking about that brand, about that product, and sporting events? So yes, the five secondary association would be geographic region. Is it popular in one particular country, one particular continent? Is it is it a reflection of with other brands, the characters of the brands, the characters, the personality, where you're slotting it down, spokesperson, sporting events, and so on and so forth. Similarly, for secondary source of brand knowledge, if you look into it, there are plentiful of sources. Look, we have slotted brands out here, and then we have people which have employees and endorsers, the brand ambassador, the endorsers, we have brand and the places where it has been going around, from the country of origin to the channels which has been supplying to it. From the brand, we have things which can be branded for an event, for the causes, for the third party endorsement. What do we go around it? And then there are other elements, the alliances, ingredients, company, and extension. This is what we keep on talking around it: alliances, ingredient, company, and extension. Thereby, internal branding, brand promises, employees and partners. What are we looking out here? This is exactly that needs to be taken across. The internal branding is all about employees, endorsers, and partners thereby. Brand communities, members have the connection. Let's say the Hawk Group or the Harley owners, Harley Davidson owners group, right? This is a Hawk group that people can go around it. We have similar rituals, similar stories, similar responsibilities to the community. So every brand would attract a certain characteristics altogether. Measuring brand equity, brand audit, brand tracking studies, as the case might be. Yes, we are looking exactly everything that needs to be taken care of. The, a brand audit will tell whether the brand is continuously upgrading itself. A brand audit will tell whether the reach of the brand is available to every corners of the audiences, and so on and so forth. So let us understand the brand value chain. We look at the value chain. The value chain, as it says, is always moving from the left side to right side, and then there is some multipliers which is augmenting it altogether. So what does it start from? It first and foremost thing, it's all about marketing the program or marketing the product or the communication, the trade, the employees. Everything starts from marketing and then comes heads upon the customer mindset. What has been multiplier out here? It is the clarity, the explanation, the relevance, the distinctiveness, the consistency. These are the multiplier that comes around it. Once it hits the customer mindset, are the customer aware of it? How do they get associated? Attitudes, the attachment, and the activity of the customer mindset. Now, this comes around here with the customer multiplier. Does it have those competitive reactions, channel support, customer sizing, or let's say customer profile? Does it have this word of mouth publicity? That is your customer multiplier would be going about it. Then comes, so you have a program, you have a product, you have communicated all your marketing initiative. The customers are aware of it. Now the customer have already purchased that product, consumed that product, enjoyed that for services. Their performance will be now reflected. Now, is it comparable with the price premium, the price elasticities, market share, expansion, success, cost structures, profitability, and so on and so forth? Now, these are the questions that needs to be taken into consideration. Then we have the market multiplier, market dynamics, growth potential, risk profile, brand contributions. Where do we go across with it? The shareholder values will tell us about the stock prices, PE ratio, and the market capitalization thereby. So the world most 10 most valuable brands, if you look into, I've just given it for your understanding. The topmost brand, if you look at, are from Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft. So, and then the fifth brand is Tencent, and this is the only brand which figures in the top five from Asia or China, and rest all of the top four belongs to US. In fact, there is United States of America dominates the chart by featuring at least seven brands of the top 10. China figures in two, and France is the only brand which is the other country which comes with it, as in Louis Vuitton. So we have Visas, Facebook, and these are recent data that I'm trying to tell it to you, project it to you. And my videos get updated every time the things get changed. So inter brand valuation. Now this is what we are looking at, the market segmentation. Now, what is market segmentation as far as branding is consideration? How do we go across with it? The brand earnings. This is what we are looking at. The brand value is a part of brand earning and the discount it been offered around here. Earnings are intangible earnings, role of branding, as the case might be. Financial analysis, and how does it goes around? Brand discount role, brand strength, competitive benchmarking. How does it helps you at any point of time? This is the interbrand brand valuation that comes around it. So let us try to build up a brand equity. And how do we revitalize the brand? What are the reinforcement that keeps on going about it? It's a constant communication, the marketing communication that it comes around it, the constant number of events that has been hosted by a brand, the constant number of time and effort that has been put by the brand or the company to be in the minds of the end consumer. The recall factor plays the major role for brand revitalizations or brand reinforcement thereby. So branding strategy is to develop new brand elements, new characters of the brand, apply existing brand elements, and combine both the new and the existing elements thereby. Branding strategies, we have the parent brand, as in the masters and the family brand. Line extension is the type, the fruit of the bottom, the fruit blends, as on the case on basis. Then we have the category extension. Let's say for Honda, it might be automobile. Honda has also landmos. Honda has also generation power generator. We have so many of category extension. For line extension, if you look into it, we have fruit blends as a extension of their products. We have the fruit at the bottoms. So you see, look at it, what are the master brand, what are the family brand, and based upon it, what can be the line extension or the category extension thereby. So branding decision, we can have individual names, let's say Bisquick. Of under General Mills, we have the individual brands of Bisquick, Gold Medal, Vitis, Yoplait. Now these are individual brands for the company called General Mills. The company brand is G, Heinz, Campbell Soup. These are company brands, right? Sub brand might be Kellogg's, Rice Krispies, Frosty Flakes, various soups that comes around it. These are your sub brand. So we have individual brands, we have company brands, and we have sub brand. I hope I'm clear with the branding decision with all of you. Now, what is a brand portfolio? A brand portfolio is a set of all brands and brand lines in a particular firm offers to a sale in a particular categories or market segment as on when on basis. How do we come across with it? Brand portfolio, let's say for a television company called Sony, it started with it earlier started with a Walkman as a Sony, if I might say so, and then it bifurcated into a number of products, let's say computers, cameras, television, theaters, portable electronics, Sony pictures, games, you name it and we have it. You have see the brand full portfolio of Sony: computers, handycams, cameras, televisions, portable electronics, Sony Pictures are movies, Hollywood movies that has been hosted, and probably they are funding it. Then games, and if I may, so these are just the basic consumable product that goes around. Sony has high-end medical infrastructures also, equipments also. So look what a brand portfolio for Sony. Let's say for a brand rules of high-end prestige, if there's a watch that goes around, the low-end entry models will have again a watch. Similarly, is a watch, but on a lower end of the scale. We have cash cows, we have flankers, which is the brand which has flopped altogether. So these are the brand roles that comes around it. So how do we improve the odds of a new product success? Is to extend the brand into a new product line, into a new line altogether as such. With this, your brand becomes lively, active, and remains in the recall factors of the end consumer. With this, I come to an end of branding as a of this video. Thank you for watching this video till the very end.